name is Tarun. Video editing has changed my life, and it can change yours too. You know, Tarun speaks quality, quantity. So hello everyone, welcome back, and this is class number 6, and in this class we are discussing about different type of cuts. Got it? Because in the past 5 classes we have talked about so many things, including Premiere Pro Ka interface. We talked about how to correct the audio. We also talked about how to give simple cuts, but we never talked about what are the different type of cuts, how do we actually do them, and what is the purpose of each of these cuts. So with that being said, let's get into today's class. So first things first, why are cuts important? Why are different type of cuts important? So different video editors have different purposes to individual cuts, right? Video editors use different kind of cuts to create continuity inside a video edit, right? They also use the cuts for emphasis on certain aspects of a video. And then certain type of cuts can also be used for pacing and timing. And in the previous class, we also discussed about sine graphs and cosine graphs, where we have fast cut followed by slow cut, fast cut followed by slow cut, fast cut followed by slow cut, right? And going forward, we also do different type of cuts for smoother transition between 2 scenes. Imagine you have a scene number 1, and then you have a scene number 2, and then you have a scene number 3, right? We can have like a cut between these 2 things, right? If there is something matching, for example, if there's a person sitting in between over here, and then if there is also a person sitting over here, right? We can have like a cut here and here, attach these 2 things, and then we'll have a match cut. We still did not talk about what match cut is, but we'll be talking about it in this lecture. So going forward, we also do different type of cuts. We also use different type of cuts. Certain video editors use different type of cuts for, as a symbol of artistic expression, right? Imagine if you watch my B-rolls, I usually prefer doing this smooth transition inside them. I also use different type of cuts for emphasis on certain aspects, right? I also use different type of cuts for continuity in a scene. I also use different type of cuts for pacing and timing during the B-rolls, right? I also use the different type of cuts as an artistic expression, right? For example, you have like a match cut of me. This is like one of the famous videos that I've ever made, where I keep turning from right to left, and then I do it at different locations, right? Imagine there is Tarun here, Tarun here, Tarun here, Tarun here, Tarun here. Got it? So imagine I'm turning, Tarun here is turning from right to left, right? Tarun here is also turning from right to left. Tarun here is also turning from right to left. Tarun here is also turning from right to left. Tarun here is also turning from right to left. And then what you exactly do is you take first 2 seconds of this scene, and then the 2 to 4 seconds of this scene, and 4 to 6 seconds of this scene, 6 to 8 seconds of this scene, 8 to 10 seconds of the scene, and then you have a combination of Tarun turning from right to left, okay, of a 10-second clip of 2 second, 2 second, 2 second, 2 second, 2 second. So what is exactly matching here? You have a same person at different locations turning in the same direction, right? And this exactly gives rise to something called as a match cut. We'll be talking about it. Match cut is one of the famous, even my personal favorites of all the cuts. But yeah, let's talk about it, man. Like, this class is going to be very interesting. So basically, this class is not important for the content which is present inside the class, but this is actually important because this gives you a perspective while editing. This class gives you an actual perspective while editing. So I'm very excited to talk about all of these cuts, but moving forward, we also use different type of cuts as a narrative clarity. Imagine we have like a very, 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 very big scene, okay? Imagine if you're, if you're watching Bigg Boss, okay? So what happens in Bigg Boss? We have like a live show happening for like 24 hours a day, but then you have like the next episode of it coming down to 1 hour. How do we do it? Just 24 hours ka scene, how does it get converted into 1 hour, right? Simple, they cut it. Or kya kar sakte hai? Like, they can't speed it up, right? You can't be like Tarun talking like, hey Tarun, I am Tarun. You can't speed it up, right? You can't be like, take common sense, but anyways. So this is cut in a way, okay? Imagine we are talking about Bigg Boss. Okay? This is cut in a way that the final 1 hour is very engaging. This is cut in a way that the final 1 hour is very pleasing to look. It's not boring at any parts of the time. So let's try to break it down. How do they cut this 24 hours ka scene into 1 hour ka scene? Okay, and how, like, what is the exact impact of each of these things, right? So they have to cut in a way, they have to cut the scenes in order to also have a continuity in the scene. Got it? Continuity ho gaya. They also do it in order to get, for example, there are certain highlight aspects inside the scene. Okay, so basically that's nothing but emphasis on the scene. They also have to get the final video to just 1 hour, right? And that's how they maintain pacing and timing of individual scenes. And then they also have to maintain narrative clarity in this, because 24 hours ka, if they miss any of the important parts in between, they are just messed up, right? So they also need to maintain that narrative clarity. Understood? So if you just take Bigg Boss ka example, we have continuity, we have emphasis on certain scenes, we have pacings and timings, we have narrative clarity, smooth transitions and artistic expressions. They're not there in this, but as you take down any video, as you break down any video, you'll get to understand what are the different aspects of that exact video. Some of the final edits might be missing artistic expression. Some of the final edits might be missing smooth transitions. For example, if you watch Casey Neistat, the transitions are not smooth, right? But then they are good. They are visually appealing, right? The transitions might not be smooth all the times. Okay? Every video which you edit, every final video which you edit might not end up having all these aspects, but what is very important among this is, first thing, continuity, and then we have pacing and timing. We also have emphasis on certain aspects of scene. Continuity is important, pacing is important, narrative clarity is very, 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 very important. Smooth transitions, not mandatory, but if you can, that's a good thing. Artistic expression, not a genuine requirement, but if you can, then again, it's good. Emphasis on certain scenes, not exactly very important, but yeah. Continuity, pacing, timing, narrative clarity, these are the most important things while you do cuts. So much of Gyan here. Let's finally get into 5, 4, 3, 2, I don't know how many ever number of cuts that we have in this video. Okay? So the first one is a standard and a simple cut. What is a standard and simple cut? Basically, you have a scene here. Okay? You have second scene here. Okay? So what you exactly do is you cut it here, maybe, and then you cut it here, maybe again, and then you join the other two parts, right? So this combined with this, okay? You just have like a normal cut, right? We did this a lot of times, right? And that's it. That's with a standard and simple cut. You might have used this standard and simple cut so many times, at least in the first video itself, at least in the first project itself, also in the second project where you had to do slow pace and fast edits. All you were doing was a normal, standard and simple cut. Do you understand? Okay. So now going forward, let's go to the next type of cut, which is a jump cut. So what is a jump cut, right? So basically, if you imagine you have like a 20-second ka scene, okay, where a girl is trying to fill water bottles. Okay. Girl is there who's trying to fill water bottles, and she takes around 20 seconds to do it. But if you're making a 1-minute video, okay, you can't just show the girl filling water bottles for 20 seconds, right? So what do you exactly do? You cut it in between scenes. You cut it here, you cut it here, you cut it here, you cut it here, you cut it here. You'll have multiple cuts in between, and finally, you'll try to speeden up the time, right? And you might end up getting a 5-second ka scene. That's it. Simple. Understood? So basically, jump cut is a type of cut where you try to jump around the scene with an intent to speed up the time, right? It's majorly shown to, visualize that passing of time wala thing. Okay? As if like time is passing, an action is being done during the time. That's what the jump cut is for. Got it? So just to show you some visual clarity, okay? Imagine we have like a big scene where some shoot is happening, right? So if this is for 10 seconds or something, you try to take out the middle parts. Okay? And then you have gaps in between these scenes, and then you try to fill it up. You try to remove the gaps, and you will get a final scene of they shooting this entire video for a lesser duration of time. Right? Basically, the entire action is being shown, but in a less amount of time. The entire footage is also not speeded up. It's just cut. The beach ka parts, the middle ka parts are being cut. That's it. And that's what is jump cut for you. And here's an example.
Non, ce n'est pas ça, Michel. Pourquoi vous êtes triste?
Parce que je suis triste.
And moving forward, next we have the J-cut. So first things first, what is J-cut? Right? So a J-cut is a type of cut where you try to move into the next scene. Okay? You try to move into the next scene with the audio of that scene. Right? So I'll just show it. Imagine you have a footage. This is a visual video layer. And then you have the audio of it. Right? There's the audio of it. And then you have the second scene, right? There's the second scene, and then you have the audio of this, right? So at this point of time, this is the place where you can see the actual cut inside the scene, right? So what you're exactly trying to do is you're moving into the next scene number 1, scene number 2. You're moving into the next scene with the help of the audio, which means the audio starts playing first. This is the point where the video is starting, the second video. This is V2, scene 2. Scene 2 is starting at this point of time. But even before the scene 2 ka video started, right, even before scene 2 ka visual started, we have the audio of scene 2 started, right? So basically you are leading into the next scene with the audio first. This is J-cut. Got it? So how do we exactly do it? Simple. Imagine you have a footage. Okay? You initially had the footage here and here. Right? So what you did is you moved this footage to one step above and then you moved this to one step below. So video layer is being moved to the upper layer and the audio layer is moved to the bottom layer, right? And then the next scene, okay, is being dragged between these clips. So in an actual case, this video had to be here and the first audio has to be here, right? And then the second video had to be here and the second audio has to be here. So V1, A1. Visual 1, audio 1. V2, A2. Visual 2, audio 2. So what you exactly did is you moved this visual to one layer above. You moved this audio to one layer below. So what did you have? You had a gap between the scenes, right? Then what you did is you got the second visual and the second audio to 3 or 4 frames or maybe like 8 frames, 3, 4, 8, what are the frames that you want into this gap. Right? And then what you exactly have is a J-cut, right? You can either ignore to cut this part. So I'll just erase this entire thing. So right now, you can either choose to remove this part or you can either choose to keep it here. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, people will just end up watching this one, right? This is hidden, correct? So here you have, this is nothing but J-cut. And why is it called as J-cut? Because it looks like a J, right? J-cut. Okay? And here's an example for you to watch.
Excellent. Moving right along.
Excuse me, everybody. You were at one of the oldest, one of the most exclusive clubs, not just at Harvard.
So if you might have watched the example exactly, right? You had the audio of the second scene playing even before the video of the second scene has started. That's what is J-cut for you. Okay? Now let's exactly discuss something opposite, right? So what we were discussing was audio of the second layer V1, A1, V2, A2. So basically audio of the second scene, scene 2, scene 1. So basically audio of the second scene started playing even before the video of the second scene has played, right? So audio started first. But what if you have the audio of the first scene still playing while the video of the second scene starts? So imagine you have V1, A1, V2, A2, right? So this is scene 1, scene 2, right? So what did you exactly have? We had something reverse. Basically, in the first case, J-cut ka case, we had A2 longer, right? You had A2 being started even before V2 started. But in L-cut, what you exactly have is a reverse, as the exact reverse case. You have the audio of the first scene still trailing into the next scene, right? Here exactly opposite happened. The audio of the second scene was trailing even before the video started, right? This exactly looks like a J, right? Whereas this looks like a L, and that is the reason why this is called as an L-cut. Got it? So coming to the standard definition, L-cut is just the opposite of J-cut. The audio of the current clip keeps playing even when the video of the second clip starts. That is L and J-cut for you. Got it? So what did we discuss about? We discussed about 4 types of cuts right now. First one is a standard or a simple cut. And then we discussed about jump cut. Jump cut was majorly to speed up the time, right? To show that the passing of the time is happening. And then we had the J cut. J cut is a cut where the audio of the second scene starts playing even before the video of the second scene starts. And then exactly opposite of it is the L cut. So now before we actually move forward, why are L and J cuts important? Take it. Jump cut is there for speeding up the time, fast cut and all of this stuff. But why are J and L cuts important? Right? So if you exactly observe a podcast or an interview kind of stuff, what exactly happens in that is two people will be talking. Person A and person B. A and B are talking to each other, right? So if you just have a standard cut, you have two cameras, one camera facing to this person, the other camera facing to this person, right? Imagine you just have this camera, he's talking, okay? This camera, he's just talking, right? Imagine you just have like a normal cut. Cut. What exactly happens is that this person will be talking, you'll end up getting a video where this person A gets talking, person B talking, person A talking, person B talking. So, right, you understand what I'm trying to say. But you wouldn't be able to exactly see what the other person's expression is while the first person is still talking, right? And that's when L and J cuts are important. If you just have a normal cut, what happens is you have person A, uska audio. Person B, uska audio. Person A, uska audio. Person B, uska audio. Person A, uska audio, right? A, B, right? A, B, A. This is visual ka layer, this is audio ka layer, right? So what happens? This becomes a very robotic scene because you wouldn't be able to see the other person's expression. But imagine you have a L cut and a J cut over here, right? So imagine I had a L cut here, okay? And then I had a J cut here, right? So what exactly is happening here is I have person B not talking between this and this, right? But person A ka audio is still playing. Person B ka expression is coming and person A ka audio is coming. So basically, you'll be able to see what other person's expression was when person A is still talking. And similarly over here also, right? Person A will be talking and you'll still be able to see person B ka expression. Okay, I just messed it up over here. But yeah, this is the example. Watch it over here.
Assuming, of course, that they are still your people and not Maroni's. Does it depress you, Commissioner, to know just how alone you really are? Does it make you feel responsible for Harvey Dent's current predicament? Where is he?
And then moving forward, we have the next cut, which is a match cut, right? So a match cut is nothing but a cut between two scenes if there is something similar between two scenes. Something similar can be a person, something similar can be a color, something similar can be, similar type of movement between these two scenes. Something similar can be anything, right? That is exactly a match cut. I'm just telling this to you. If you can master match cut, you can master anything. I mean, you can awe people a lot, right? You can actually get very, very, very cool scenes. You can actually get very, very, very cool edits if you're doing the match cuts and all, right? Coming to the standard definition, you have something common, something similar between two clips, and then you cut between them. That's what we exactly talked about, right? The thing which can be common can be anything. It can be a common color, it can be a common person, it can be a common object which is common between two different videos. It can be literally anything. It can also be common movement, right? And this is the example. So now we discussed about 5 types of cuts, right? Standard cut, L cut, J cut, jump cut, match cut. How exactly does it matter for you? So first things first, if you're editing any video from now, right? It might be a client video, might be a freelance video, might be an agency ka video, might be your own YouTube video, doesn't matter. You'll be getting a dump of footages, right? You'll be getting so many footages while you edit a new video. Footage 1, footage 2, footage 3, footage 4, footage 5. You're getting so many. So what your job as a video editor, what your job as a skilled video editor is to identify what type of cuts can you do between these scenes so that you can surprise the audience. You can awestruck the audience. Right? And every single time that you watch any other video from now, you have to understand, you have to show, you have to actually talk about, oh, imagine you're watching a movie, imagine you're watching Bigg Boss, imagine you're watching an interview, imagine you're watching a commercial, video commercial, whatever it is, doesn't matter. Every single time you watch a next video from now, you have to observe what kind of cut is being done at the proper scene, right? Is this a normal cut? Is this a jump cut? Is this a L cut? Is this, so this is even one of my habits, right? Like I go watch a movie, I'll be like, hey, nice, like L cut, J cut, jump cut. I actually do this, right? And I not just do this for cuts, I also do this for sound design. I also do this for music. So your job as a creative person is to observe all these things from now, right? So how does it matter for you? You'll be getting a dump of footages. You have to understand what two clips will match. What kind of cuts can you do between these two scenes? And you also need to understand that these 5 are not just the entire type of cuts. There are also other type of cuts. For example, let's talk about 2 more cuts, right? So first things first, imagine you are trying to cut something out on action. Okay? So imagine a bomb is about to blast, but then you cut. For example, you have like a entire video here, okay, of 5 seconds long, and the bomb is blasting at 4 seconds, right? You have a timer playing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At exactly at 1, you just cut it off and show some other clip, right? So people who are watching you will just go mad. They'll be like, "Why bomb? Like, what happened with the bomb? Did it blast? Did they actually cut it out? What exactly happened?" Right? And similarly, imagine you have 2 boxers, right, fighting with each other. Boxer 1, boxer 2, right? You have like a, you have a scene where boxer number A just does this. He's just going to boom, like you just cut it before the jab hits on his face, right? Before this. I'm not sure if it's a punch or a jab, but whatever it is. So let's just call it a punch. You just cut the scene before the punch happened, right? You're just cutting it on action. I mean, you're just cutting before action. You can also cut on action, just to make audience wait for you to show the next scene, for you to show the reaction of what exactly happened after the action, right? So this is one of the special cuts, which is cutting on action. And Casey Neistat, in one of his video, I guess Nike ka commercial, it's called Make It Count, right? Casey Neistat has done an awesome job in this, right? Just watch it. And then we have one more special type of cuts, which is called parallel editing. Basically, you have scene number 1 and scene number 2, right? You have 2 scenes and you parallelly cut between them. You first show this and then you show this. You then show this, you then show this. So one of the famous movies in Telugu, which is called Kanche, has the same edits, right? Kanche, whatever it is. So basically what exactly happens in that video is that you have future and past playing parallelly. So that's one of the most creative edits that I've seen in a Telugu movie, before a while. So I guess that is that. Here's an example for parallel editing for you. So I guess that is it for this video, right? We discussed about a lot of different type of cuts. We discussed about L cuts, we discussed about J cuts. Every video editor will be talking about L and J cuts, jump cuts and all these cuts, but no one actually uses them, right? So, I mean, very less number of people actually use them. So right now, your job is to start using them, right? And we'll be giving an assignment. But before that, we see a lot of people, right? A lot of people still did not submit the previous assignment. So get it done and let's move to the fresh new assignment. And in the next class, we'll be discussing about one of the major, most important things, which is effect controls and keyframings, right? That's going to be very interesting. This lecture, class number 6, was a lot theoretical, right? It was a lot about, some conceptual kind of stuff. But next one will be on Premiere Pro interface, right? And you'll be able to learn new stuff, new things. Take care. With that being said, I'll have to go to the office right now. I'll see you in the next class, and bye-bye.